everybody, I'm very happy to see you here. My name is Deem GW, and today we're going to be speaking about GW number 10. And this one is going to be all about two different types of growth. It's a very powerful concept, and I believe it can really make you a happy person, at least help you to go in that direction. Alright, for you to be able to easier imagine what I'm talking about is imagine a 10-story building, for example, yeah? So this building has many stories, and each story has its own lessons to be learned here, yeah? So what I'm talking about is you could be like, for example, story number 3, and you can either be here and develop yourself in the third one so that you become the master of the third level, so to speak, or the third story. Or you can develop yourself in a way that makes the third story, makes the values of the third story, the accomplishments of the third story, the dreams of the third story, the ambitions of the third story, obsolete. Not interesting anymore. It's in my past. I'm not interested in this anymore. And then you become, you go to the next level. So this is what I mean by vertical growth, like growth of the stories, yeah? You go higher and higher so that the last stories are not interesting for you anymore. Or the horizontal one. That is probably what most people are doing. They're just stuck in one level. And by levels, what do I mean by levels? These are levels of consciousness, yeah? And this number was just a random number, 10 stories, right? Maybe it's way more than that. Maybe it's an infinite number of consciousness levels. How do I know, yeah? But I do know that you can get stuck in one level and then just believe that for some reason you might have a belief inside of you that the next level does not exist. And when you're going to be, let's say, level 3, yeah, and then you see people that are at level 4 and they don't, they're not very inspired by your own goals, yeah, you might think that they are lower than you. This is very often what happens with these consciousness levels, that you are seeing the person that is already past whatever lessons that you still need to go through. You see them as inferior. You might see them as not as interested in something important at least for you at your level. But if you worked on yourself, if you saw that, for example, you want this in order to, you want to do whatever you're doing right now in order to get approval. So if you are working with approval, with wanting approval, and you just let it go, you work this trauma that you had, for example, in your childhood, and then guess what? These ambitions of level 3 are not going to be as enticing for you anymore. They're not going to interest you as much. You're not going to want to give so much of your energy, so much time, so much life to it. So usually when people speak about the spiritual growth, what they mean is this vertical growth, the growth of our consciousness. Not just being a fantastic doctor, for example, or a fantastic lawyer, or a fantastic engineer, and then just developing in this one area and becoming like the king or the queen of this area, right? Yeah, you can have everything that you want there in that area, but then what is next there? What is it? Does it have something more than that? Maybe there's more that is in store for you. And what I noticed is that the vertical growth that I'm talking about, yeah, is the growth of the growth that our soul craves most of the time, yeah. Whereas the horizontal growth is the one that our ego wants. But this is not always the case, because maybe sometimes the soul understands that in order, to reach level 4, you don't need just to read the book about the fact that, oh, look, if you are having values of level number 3, then you're not going to be happy. Therefore, you need to go to level 4. And then because you read this book, now you're thinking that level 4 is the way to go, yeah? But then you go there and you're not able to sustain this. You're not able to take as much responsibility as real people of level 4 are taking, because you are not, you did not master level 3. But I think that also many times when people are stuck in just one level or one story and all they're doing is just developing and becoming better at this one story, is they're not really thinking about the meaning of life. Whereas the people that are really like more philosophical and are more into mindfulness, like trying to be more and more conscious, they are the ones that are questioning their reality. They're questioning, why am I doing what I'm doing? They're questioning, what types of beliefs do I have? Maybe a large chunk of them are not even my beliefs, not even my thoughts, not even my ideas. And when they do this, bit by bit, they just untangle this mass, basically, and then they start to have clarity. And when they have clarity, then they see that does not make sense for them to be at level 3 anymore. But the ego does not want this. The ego does not like this at all, because number one, like the mission number one, the most important mission of any ego is just to stay alive. It does not care about you, even though it says that it cares about you. It cares about its own version of reality, and it wants to protect you. That is the protection that it offers you is the protection that is in line with its idea of how reality works. But that is not always the case. For example, if the ego thinks that the world is a vicious place, the world is a dangerous place, the world is just a disgusting place where you need to fight with everybody, then yeah, this ego is gonna help you, so to speak, by pushing you to become more aggressive, yeah? So you see that it's helping you, but helping you in its own way, in the way that is in line with its own reality. Yeah, but this is not the actual reality. This is one of the realities. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is wrong, that the world is a disgusting, vicious place. Yeah, this is just one reality, and we can choose our realities. This is a world of multiple realities. So if you choose to think like this, then you are going to be developing the corresponding defense mechanisms that are going to help you in this type of reality. But you can choose to think another thing. But the ego is telling you that its reality is the only reality, is the reality, is the universal reality, okay? And there is nothing else that is more true than this. You know why? Because if there's something else that is more true than that, then it can die, because you're going to be questioning it, you're going to be doubting it, yeah? You're not going to be putting it on a pedestal, but it wants to be on the pedestal, because then you're going to be its slave. And when you are its slave, then you're going to be listening to it as much as possible. And that's exactly what ego wants. It just wants slaves. Of course, it's not that maybe dramatic or that aggressive, but quite often it is, especially when it's, you know, pushed, and then you see the real face of your ego. And of course, ego is not always a bad thing, but this is going to be a topic for another video. And that brings me to the next point, is that we can have a choice out of two different sources. Very different sometimes sources. And they are the ego, our beloved ego, and our soul, which is us basically. So the difference here is quite massive. If you are going to be choosing, the decisions that you're going to be making are going to be out of the source of the soul, that's what's going to make you happy, not the ego one. The ego one is just giving you the probability that it might make you happy. It really depends on the maturity of our ego, and the ego, in order to grow, it needs a lot of experience. Whereas the soul already has this experience. It already feels. When you see a person, your soul is already telling you, hey, this is a good person, or maybe the opposite. No, this is not a good person. Do not trust him, or do not trust her. Don't talk to them. This is your soul's voice. Your soul already recognizes these patterns. It already has all of these experiences that ego actually needs in order to mature. So you are having like a parent and another child just like you, and you are figuring out who to talk to in order to take the best decision. But if you take the decision of this child, then it might work, but it might also not work. And there's a big chance, especially in the beginning of your life, that it's not going to be the decision that is going to make you happy. In the long term, maybe not in the short term, because this one is the short term guy, yeah? This one is the long term. Yeah, okay, maybe it might bring you a lot of suffering, actually a lot of suffering, maybe like decades of suffering, but eventually it's gonna bring you way more joy in the end, yeah? It's gonna allow you to understand the meaning of life, not just have a life that is meaningless. Meaningless and empty and boring and yeah, full of regrets. What's the point of living this type of life? This one is never going to give you a decision, it's never going to lead you or guide you towards a decision that is going to be conducive to that type of life. And again, I'm not telling you that ego is always bad or something like that. No, but you know, when you were a child, or I was a child, everybody, when we were children, we were able to easily find beautiful things in life and just be happy for everything, just the fact that we woke up. And of course you can say, well, yeah, right, they don't have responsibilities to take. Yeah, they don't have to think about paying rent. They don't have to do taxes, whatever, right? Or find a job, whatever. But I'm talking about there's something else. It's not just about this, but also we as children, we did not have this programming inside of us that told us that this is how the world should be. Yeah, we did not have these rules. We did not have like the plus or minus sign assigned to anything, yeah? So everything for us was neutral, and because of that, we were able to appreciate it much. Whereas maybe our parents already had an established belief that, you know, these types of people are so-called bad, yeah? Or this type of political party is bad, yeah? Or something else, like either plus or minus. Everything was just labeled and put in the boxes and categories. And when you have this, then this actually hijacks and does not even actually allow you to be happy, to understand happiness. Because when you are having these types of pluses and minuses attached to everything inside of your body, then you're not able to see the real thing. You're just, it's like you see a thing, yeah, and then you are putting it in a special type of box. Either a super amazing box, yeah, and then you go back and you see, wow, such an amazing thing, or such an important thing, oh my god, or maybe the opposite, you just put it in something disgusting and maybe smells really bad, and then you look at it and oh my god, these people are disgusting, these people are bad, yeah, or this movie is so bad, or this song, I hate it, yeah, but then actually maybe you were the one that made it like this. Didn't you think about this? Maybe it's not the movie, the song, the person that irritates you, but maybe it's your reaction. Maybe you came there and you just wrapped it up in something specific that makes it look like it's something evil or something disgusting. And then you just assume that this is actually reality. But maybe it's not reality. Maybe it's your subjective reality. Maybe you actually created it. So anyway, when we are children, we do not do this. Everything which we see, we just accept it. Okay, this is part of reality. Okay, this is part, and this is part, and this is part, yeah? Whereas adults, they do not accept, this is not the part of reality that I approve of. I hate it. And that's why they're not happy. But the question is, how do you know, or how this adult, a so-called adult, knows that the reality is not supposed to be that way? Do you think it contributes to his or her happiness or unhappiness? Which one more? And oftentimes these rules are positioned as laws, as if this is the truth, as if this is the universal law, universal thing that people have to abide by. And if they don't, then that means they're bad. But the point here is, just like Shakespeare said, I'm gonna paraphrase, that nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Another point is that horizontal type of learning, yeah, or horizontal type of evolution is not bad. I am not attacking it or saying that it's something that only underdeveloped people take. No, 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 no. Maybe sometimes for you to reach level 4, what you need to do is actually to go through all actually the lessons that level 3 has for you. Yeah? And just like Jim Carrey said, and I'm gonna paraphrase him, he said that I wish all the people got all the fame in the world, all the money, all everything that they wanted, yeah? So that they can see that that's not the answer, yeah? This is exactly what he was talking about. You just reached the end of level 3 and while being inside level 3, you were in the picture, not outside the picture, right? So you didn't see the big picture. But while you were in the picture, you thought that when I'm getting all of these material possessions and money and fame, whatever status, and then I'm gonna be the happiest person in the world, and that's it. I just reached the top. There's nothing more after that, right? But then what he suggests is when you do this, then you're gonna see that this is not the answer, and then there's another level that is even higher than that. Yeah? And you're gonna be finally getting out of this level 3 picture, story 3 type of picture, story 3 type of hypnosis in which you like believed very much, yeah? And then you're gonna see that maybe there's more to life than just the values and the ambitions and the attributes of level number 3. And maybe there are some people that need to stay on one level for a couple of lifetimes. How about that? Maybe there are some people that are born actually in this lifetime in order to become famous actors, yeah? And they are doing this for decades and decades and they don't even want to stop because that's exactly what they actually wanted to do before they came here on Earth, if you believe in past lives, of course. And maybe their whole lifetime of being an actor is going to allow them to advance. For example, when they were born, they were at level 3 or story number 3, just 20%, yeah? But because they are an actor in this life, a famous actor, yeah, then they develop from level 3, 20% to level 3, 95%, yeah? So they develop that much. That means that in the next life, they are going to be born already with a type of sense of experience that they already had this. So it's going to be a little bit interesting because it's still level 3 and like 95%, yeah? But they're going to need just a little bit more in order to understand and to get to the, tipping point where they understand, okay, level 3 is just not interesting for me anymore. Whereas in their past life, in their life where they were born with level 3 and just 20% done, fame was something really, really high up there on their priority list, yeah, in their values list. So of course they are going to be like more maybe extroverted, more fun, maybe even to talk to, yeah. Because at level 4, you're not that interested in having approval from other people. So maybe you're not that interested in learning all the jokes and being the center of attention and blah, 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 all of these stuff that are interesting to level 3 people, And it's not that level 3 are worse than level 4. No, 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 no. It's just everybody on their own journey. And so that means that the advices like do not chase money, or do not chase fame, they don't actually work. They don't always work because, yeah, maybe in this life you were supposed to be level 3 or level 4 and not reach level 5 or level 6, 7. Yeah, maybe you were supposed to master just one level. So if you're stuck like me, like I was in my past, and I worked really hard for many years. I started with guitar, and then it was singing, and then it was again guitar, and then it was producing. And I was doing this, and I thought I'm actually making progress, and I was actually making progress, but it was progress at level 3, yeah? And then when I reached the tipping point where level 3 was not interesting for me anymore, I understood why I was doing this. I understood the motivations behind it. And the motivation there was to get approval. So I understood my motivation, and my motivation was not something that I thought I actually wanted to do, because if you asked me at that time, like consciously, hey, why are you doing this? I would have told you, well, I'm doing this to be fulfilled in life, to get this sense of accomplishment at the end of my life. I just wanted to have no regrets. And this is exactly what I'm doing this for, right? I mean, this is what I would have told you consciously. And I actually would have believed it myself. But actually, in reality, when I started to ask myself more and to go deep inside of my soul and then just start to, extract these negative past events and to analyze all of them and to see why am I actually so interested in doing this, oh, yeah. I found a lot of interesting things. And then when I did this, when I found out the real motivation why I was doing this, it was actually being out of luck, like lack, I mean, the sense of lack. And I felt that if I do this, then my lack is just gonna get compensated and I'm not gonna have the lack anymore and I'm gonna have abundance. But that's not gonna happen. That would not have been the case ever. What I needed to do is just to heal this wound in myself. And when I did this, guess what? This was not so interesting for me. I mean, guitar was not so interesting to me as to make it a, my profession, the thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Neither did singing or producing, like music production. It was not as interesting for me anymore. So the same thing can happen to you when you develop yourself vertically. When you develop vertically, then the ideas, the ambitions that you had in your past, and even if you've been working for years or for decades like me, right? It's still not gonna be interesting anymore. So that's a warning sign for you. Because if you're doing this spiritual work, you might come to the conclusion that you've been chasing the wrong thing all your life, maybe. So what I have for you is a good exercise that I actually used, and you can do it as well, and it really helped me to understand where I should go, yeah? So if you are indecisive, if you are not sure whether you're going with what your soul wants versus what your ego wants, and if you're not sure that the direction that you're going towards right now is the direction that is gonna bring you happiness and fulfillment and a sense of joy and a sense of, when you are completely completed, finished, and you don't have any regrets. If you think that this if you're, are not sure that the road that you're taking right now is going to bring you to that point, then I'd suggest you do this. You can just sit down and then just write all of the different possible directions in which you can go right now. Yeah, they might be 2, might be 3, maybe even more, right? And what you can do is just imagine yourself actually doing this. Actually, imagine if you are choosing path number 1. Where are you gonna be in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, yeah? Is this something that makes you happy because your soul recognizes it, yeah? If it does not recognize it, or if it has some doubts, then this is a red flag. This is something that you want to work with, yeah? And just to see whether it's really something that you deep inside want. Because when you have these doubts, because remember, soul does not have doubts. Soul just either knows or doesn't know. The ego is the one with doubts. The ego is the one that, maybe this, maybe that, I don't know, maybe, yeah, because it has like Excel sheets and then is just telling you the probabilities. Yeah, this is everything that, mostly what it can do. It just gives you the probabilities. The probability of success in this case is 17%, while in that case 30%. So let's go in that direction, yeah? But not, maybe your soul actually wants to go there, But everybody else is going to tell you, oh, no, 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 don't go there because, you know, the competition is big, or because, yeah, you're not born for this, because there are people that are doing this from when they were like 3 years old, and you are just starting to do this when you're 20 something, and oh, you're too old for that. No, that's all bullshit, okay? Listen to your heart, listen to your soul, because your soul knows best, not your ego. And so these different paths that you write down and then imagine, some of them might be horizontal, and some of them vertical. And then see for yourself which one feels right. Don't go to the horizontal one because I told you so, or because you read in spiritual books that, you know, money is not a good spiritual source or tool, whatever. Money is not for spiritual people, for example. No, 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 don't do this. Just write everything like inside of you, just where, what are the possible options that you can choose from, and then just go enter there and just stay there for 5-10 minutes, yeah? And then see how it feels. I guarantee you that one of them is gonna stand out from the other ones. Maybe they all feel good, right? But one of them is gonna feel a little bit better than the other ones. Choose the one that feels the best, okay? And I guarantee you that this is gonna be the right one. Even if the one that feels best to you right now is the one that is gonna be the horizontal one, that's still okay, that's still fine. Because, you know, I wouldn't have understood the pain actually of being at level 3 and not getting everything that I want just by being the king basically of level 3 by just reading about this. I needed actually to go through this, and there was a song that it took me like at least 5.5 years, something like that, a very long time, and I actually quit playing guitar for 2 times just because of that one song. I mean, not the song itself, but my inability to discipline myself to play every single day, to go through pain in order to be able to play that song. But when I was able to play this, I thought, okay, that's it, I'm there. But then I wasn't there, yeah? But I actually needed to go there in order to understand how shitty it feels to be there. How much of a failure I'm gonna feel when I'm gonna think that it's gonna solve all of my problems, and it didn't. Not just by reading the fact that, oh, okay, if I'm gonna be studying this song and I'm gonna be playing it later, it's gonna make me not as happy as I once thought. I needed to go through that experience in order to understand how shitty it feels. So the same for you. Maybe the best thing for you to do right now is to develop another 5, 10, 15 years in this horizontal story that you are in right now, in order for you to move on to the next level. And maybe that's actually the fastest way for you. Yeah, how do you know that it's not the case, right? And remember, if it feels right, if it feels most like fitting inside of you, like it feels very good, it's there for a reason. And if you're gonna have like 5 options, for example, and one of them, like all of them feel good, but one of them feels fantastic, go with that feeling. And this feeling is there for a reason, okay? Alright, now thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this video was useful for you, and I wish you all the best. And if you have some friend or somebody from your family circle or anybody else that you think that this video might help them, then please share it with them. And again, if you have any questions or maybe suggestions, then please leave a comment down below. And here is the summary, and see you in the next one.